Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you guys the labor and delivery story for Jayden. As you guys know, I already did one for Valerie, and I'm currently pregnant with my third baby. So since I was not doing no videos back then, I do want to give you kind of like a background on my labor stories, on my delivery stories, or just because. Alright, so let's start. Hold up. Alright, before we start, I went to go get some ice. Yes, don't judge me. Anyway, alright, so with Jayden, I got pregnant, and I found out I was pregnant in around Thanksgiving of 2014. Alright, for Jayden, I did work up until my 36th week, and then I went on maternity leave. And let's see, for him, my pregnancy was better than with Valerie because I was not nauseous as much. I did throw up here and there, but nothing major. And the only thing that for him, the baby was really low, and at like around 30 weeks or before even 30 weeks, I started getting pressure down there, and sometimes it would hurt to walk. Like once the baby started getting bigger and I was working, like I had to walk a lot, and I would feel like pressure, and it would hurt, like it was sore, like my muscle, my pelvic area was sore, and it would hurt to walk. Like sometimes I had to like walk really slow because it'll start hurting, and that was because he was really low. And I guess that's why he was born at 38 weeks. So yeah, there goes that. I stopped working at 36 weeks, and then at 38 weeks I went to the doctor. It was on a Tuesday, and I went for a regular checkup, and the doctor was telling me that the baby was pretty low, so he wanted me to go back on that same week on a Friday to check. I don't know what, but he wanted me to go on Friday because the baby was pretty low. So Thursday night I went to sleep like normal, whatever, and his labor started pretty weird because like I was having this dream that I don't remember who I was with, but I was walking around with some girl at a park, and some friend, I don't know, I just can't remember her face, but it was some girl, and we were walking around in a park, and we were like up in some stairs, and I don't know how the girl tripped and fell off the rail, but I would see her fall, like I saw everything, you know. So then when she landed like her lower back landed on the rail, and right at that moment, like I felt the pain, like on my lower back. That was so weird, and that woke me up, and I was like, what, like, you know, like so weird, like trippy, whatever. So then my lower back was hurting, and I was like, you know how sometimes you have dreams that seem so real? Well, yeah, so it was like I was so tripped out, so I stayed awake for a while, and then Valerie woke up because she had to go pee, so I took her to the restroom and then put her back to bed, and then I was trying to go back to sleep, but then I started feeling again like pain, like on my lower back, like kind of like, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just weird, like pressure and pain, like all around my lower back. So I was like, okay, like that's weird. And I was feeling like, you know, because with Valerie, I did not have contractions too. Like I was in the hospital and they induced me, and everything was so different. So having contractions like at home, it was just not, I was just not familiar with that. Like the contractions weren't that bad. And that was like around almost 2 in the morning. It was probably like 2 in the morning already. And then from then on, it was just like every 10 minutes. Yeah, it was like around every 10 minutes I would get contractions. So I just, you know, got up and I was in the room, like I didn't go out. I would just walk around in the room, and I didn't wake anybody up. I don't know, because the pain, like it was painful, but you know, I could handle the pain. And I didn't want to wake anybody up because I didn't want them to be like, okay, let's go to a hospital and all that. I didn't want to go to a hospital till I was like every 5 minutes or so, because I don't want to be laying down in the bed for like hours and hours with pain. So I'd rather be at home and just wait till they're 5 minutes and then go to the hospital. So I didn't wake nobody up. It was like at 2 in the morning, and every 10 minutes I would have contractions. So Chris did wake up a couple times, and then he was like, are you okay? And I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm fine, you know, whatever. And then at 6 in the morning, his alarm went off because he had to go work, and I turned it off. And I was like, alright, like I'm just gonna tell him, like, you know, when he wakes up, I'll tell him, because he's the type of person that he wakes up at 6:30, like every day, no matter if he has to go work or not, he's up at that, or by that time. So he woke up and he was gonna start getting ready for work, but he was like you've been up since like really early, like what's wrong with you? And I was like, oh, nothing. And then I started telling him like, oh, okay, well, I've been having contractions, but you know, I'm just gonna wait. And then he called in to work that he was not gonna be going off, obviously, because the baby was gonna be born. So that was at 6 in the morning already, and then I was just there in my house. The contractions were probably like 7, 8 minutes apart, and I was super tired. I wanted to go to sleep, but every time I would try to go to sleep, like a contraction will wake me up. And yeah, like around 8 in the morning, they were getting a little bit closer. So I got in the shower. I took a really hot shower, and the hot water hit my lower back. And then I changed. I got the stuff, you know, make sure everything was ready to go. And my mom, she was already awake, and then she was just like, oh, you know, how you doing? How you feeling? And you know, here and there, asking me questions. So then like at 9 in the morning, like I went to the restroom because I had to go pee. And when I peed and then I got up, I know TMI, but when I wiped, there was like the mucus plug, like, you know, blood and all that, like on the toilet paper. So like, alright, we gotta go. Like, we gotta go. So we got the stuff, and Valerie stayed here with my mom, and we left to the hospital. Like around 9 something, we left to the hospital. And when we got to the hospital, we parked, and then we walked to the hospital. And on the way over there, I got like 2 contractions just from where we parked to the door. And then when I got to the delivery area, they have a receptionist there too. And then she was like, oh, you know, why are you here for, blah blah. And I was like, oh, I'm having contractions, like I'm 38 weeks pregnant, and I'm having contractions every 5 minutes. And she looked at me like she didn't believe me. I don't know if she wanted me to go crying and screaming because of the pain, but I mean, I was calm. So she looked at me and she was like, okay, like fill this paper out. And then I filled it out, and then took me into this room, and she was like, she told the other nurse, like, oh, she says that she's having contractions every 45 minutes. And then, but the way she said it, it made it seem like she did not believe me. Because I don't know, like, everybody, you know, copes with the pain differently. So I don't know, I was just not screaming and all that. So the nurse just told me to like change into the robe, the hospital robe, and lay down in bed, and they're gonna hook me up and check the contractions and blah blah. So I changed, and I got in the bed. I got on the bed, and they hooked me up to the machine, and she came in, and then she started asking me questions, like, you know, regular questions, like did your water break and all that. And then she was looking at at the screen, and then she was just stop talking. So like, all right, I'm just gonna let you, you know, you're having a contraction right now. I'm just let you like breathe through it or whatever. And then I was like, so I was just right there dealing with the contraction, and then she's like, they're pretty high. They were like, you're actually having like contractions every 45 minutes, like, and they're pretty painful, like, you know, like the bar is pretty high. And I was like, no, I told you. I was surprised that they were that high, and I was like, you know, not screaming or crying or whatever. And and then she was like, okay, I'll just let you breathe through it. And then she checked me, and I was already 5 centimeters dilated. So she called my doctor to tell him, you know, that I'm 5 minutes, that I'm 5 centimeters dilated, and I was in the hospital. And well, obviously he said to stay in the hospital, and that was already what, like 9, almost 10 in the morning. And then they moved me to a different room where you actually deliver the baby. So when I got there, I went to the restroom, I peed, because obviously once you're on the bed, you don't get up for nothing. So I went to the restroom, and then I lay down, they hooked me up to everything, and then they were checking me, and then the contractions started getting like really, really painful and really close together. And it was already like 10:30, and they were calling the doctor because they were telling him that I was opening up really fast, and that he had to like already like get to the hospital. And around 10:30 she checked me, and I was around 7 dilated. And from then on, like, it just got really, like, everything went by so fast. Like, the contractions were really, really, really painful. Like, I had to like they put me the mask to breathe, and I would feel like I couldn't breathe, like I just wanted to take that off. And then they were like, and then it was already almost gonna be 11, and then I told her, like, you know, I feel like I have to push. And then she was like, well, I have to check you first, you know, I have to check your 10 centimeters dilated or whatnot. And she came in, they checked me, and sure enough, I was already 10. So the doctor was not there yet, my mom was not there. I wanted my mom to be in the hospital, in the room with me, but she had stayed with my daughter, and she was waiting on my aunt to get here so she could meet us at the hospital and go inside the room. So it was already 11, and I was already 10. My mom was not there. The doctor was not there. And the nurse was like, oh, don't worry, you know, we have a doctor in here. If your doctor doesn't get here on time, like, the other doctor can deliver the baby. And well, whatever. So then they started getting everything ready to push. And then the doctor got there. He, you know, started preparing everything. They started putting the gloves on him and everything. And then they knocked on the door, and it was my mom. So she got there right on time for the baby to be born. And she went inside. Why are my eyes getting watery? Okay. She got inside the room, and then, yeah, the whole thing started. And then I started pushing. The doctor broke my water, like, right before I started pushing. So I started pushing, and like probably 3 pushes after Jayden was out. I did not get an epidural, nothing. I did not get no medicine or nothing for the pain. It was all natural. Jayden was a faster delivery than Valerie. You know, he was a lot more painful than Valerie. I'm sure you guys heard that when the shoulders come out, they call it the ring of fire because it burns and it hurts, like, it hurts. Well, with Valerie, I did not feel that. With Jayden, I felt that, and it was like the worst pain ever. And I know I'm smiling right now, but trust me, I was not smiling that. And he was super painful. He was faster, but he was painful. And then to top it off, like, he did tear me. They did tear me for Jayden. He did, the doctor, I don't know but the thing is that they had to stitch me up. And I mean, for Valerie as well, but from what I know, they do numb you before they start sewing you up. And for Jayden, they did that, but I just felt everything like, oh my god, that was so painful. Like, the medicine did not go through, so I will feel every time he'll put in the needle and like pull and do all this stuff, like I was feeling everything, that my legs were shaking and I didn't even want him to touch me. It was just like the worst. Jayden was born at 11:10 a.m. on July 24, 2015 at 38 weeks pregnant. He was perfectly fine, healthy and all. Chris and my mom were in the delivery room with me during everything. Like for Jayden and Valerie, Chris was in there, and my mom, they were both in there for both deliveries. And both times that the babies were born, like Chris will tear up, like he'll start tearing up, and it's just like so, I don't know, just a beautiful feeling. Why am I gonna cry? It's just a beautiful feeling. Like an hour after I had him, Valerie came in to meet him, and she was super excited. I will be putting pictures of Jayden when he was born and of Valerie as well, both of them together. And yeah, so Jayden's delivery was a lot faster. His contraction started at like 2 in the morning, and he was born at 11, so that was what, like 9 hours of pain. But in the hospital I was pretty much there for like an hour and a half, since I got there till the time he was born. Even the nurse, like when I was in the delivery room, the actual delivery room, and I had the baby, the nurse was like, oh my god, that was pretty fast, like you weren't even here for like an hour, like before having the baby. And I don't know, I'm just happy that it's like that. And hopefully this baby comes fast. Labor is fast and easy. Hopefully not as painful as Jayden, but we will see. In 10 more weeks, we'll have another baby. So crazy. But yeah, that was the labor and delivery story for Jayden. I will be putting pictures, like I said, after this video. I will be putting pictures of the day he was born. And yeah, I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.